In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You're advised that any views expressed by the hosts or their guests are not necessarily the views of Tug Entertainment or its partners.
It's time for Success Profiles Radio with your host, Brian K. Wright, here on the Rockstar Radio Network. Have you ever wondered if there's more to life than you're currently living? Then Success Profiles Radio is the program for you. Every week, we'll explore different aspects of success and how to apply them to your life. Guests will come from many different backgrounds, including expertise in leadership, business, relationships, careers, networking, health, overcoming adversity, and much more. Every show is a dose of inspiration. This is Success Profiles Radio on the Rockstar Radio Network. And now, here's your host, Brian K. Wright.
Hello and welcome to Success Profiles Radio. I am your host, Brian K. Wright, and it is a pleasure to be with you here today. I'm honored that you chose to spend part of your day with me here, and this is going to be a really fantastic show. I'll be introducing my guest shortly, and I promise this will be a fun and informative hour. It will be great. I just want to take a minute or two to share some things I've been learning and thinking about lately, and I will do this every single week. Last week, I had the honor of interviewing Dave Blanchard, who's the CEO of the Og Mandino Group, and his book is called Today I Begin a New Life. Something he wrote really struck me, which is why I'm bringing it up this week. Clearly, there are times when things aren't going well in our lives, whether it has to do with our careers, our businesses, our relationships, or other circumstances we have to work through. There are many times where it seems to be a never-ending process, and things always seem to impede our progress through life. We may say and do all of the right things, and nothing seems to make a difference. However, Dave shared a great nugget of wisdom written by Og Mandino himself in one of his writings. He addressed this very issue, and his wisdom was simply a motto containing 4 words: "This too shall pass." It gives me hope to know that some way, somehow, as long as we keep pursuing what we believe in, those barriers will eventually fall away and things will eventually begin to work themselves out. If anyone out there is having a difficult time with something, rest assured it won't last forever. Just remember, this too shall pass. With all of this in mind, I want to introduce my guest. And before I forget, let me give you the call-in number just in case you'd like to call in and participate in today's discussion. That number is 866-404-6519. Once again, that's 866-404-6519. My guest this week is Darrell Hornbacher. Let me tell you a little bit about him. Darrell has been finding money for small business owners since 2005. Prior to that, he bought and sold 13 businesses in the previous 25 years. Along the way, he has learned a lot about both business and personal credit. He knows as much about both as anyone in the country. He has written 3 books, with a 4th being edited right now. One is about how to successfully get a business loan. Another is on how to build business credit. And the one he believes will be a bestseller is called Kitchen Table Credit, which is a complete legal system to repairing damaged credit. Helping people understand personal credit is a passion of his and has become his life's work. He believes the 3 credit bureaus, the main credit bureaus, are the biggest criminals in corporate America. They have a vested interest in keeping the common person in credit prison for as long as they can, and they do. Americans, through the Fair Credit Reporting Act and Fair Debt Collections Practices Act, have over 200 laws on their side, allowing them to repair erroneous and illegal items on their credit. Darrell is showing them one person at a time. Darrell has obtained over $300 million for small business owners in the last 8 years. He's done it by treating people fairly, with honesty and integrity in an industry that has many people who don't. With all of this in mind, let me bring on my guest, Darrell Hornbacher. Darrell, are you there?
Hi, Brian. Gosh, I hope I can live up to all that.
Of course you can. Welcome to Success Profiles Radio. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you. I absolutely love Dave's little nugget about this too shall pass, because I use that every day with clients.
Right, because you're dealing with people who are in very difficult circumstances, and people don't come to you because things are going well.
Absolutely.
Right. So we will definitely get into all of that during this show, but I'd like to start with the same question I start with everybody. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you were to where you are right now.
Gosh, it's been a long road. I started off, I got fired pretty much from my first job and knew that it was going to be a constant battle if I ever tried to work for somebody else. So I bought my first business when I was in, 25, I guess, And unfortunately, I got bored, so I sold it a year later. And over the course of the next 25 years, I bought and sold 13 businesses. 12 of them I made money, and one cost me everything I had. So it was a major crash and burn. From there, I was trying a very successful business with a family member, and one of us wanted to buy the other one out, and I'm like, well, I'm bored again, and let me see if I can go find something else to do. And through this whole thing...
I was going to say, are you the kind of person that likes to start over with a new business, or are you the kind of person that prefers to buy the other person out?
I was the one that prefers to start over.
Okay.
And it was really, the one thing as I was evaluating what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, because quite frankly, I was a little bit tired of the starting over to some extent, the one constant was always money and credit, and it was always a business owner's biggest bane is being able to get the capital they need to expand or grow or open something new. And so I started really looking at this because it's so full of mystique for a lot of people, but it really isn't. It's just like one of the simplest things ever, and the rules are very straightforward and cut and dry. They change, with the financial atmosphere of the day, but they're really pretty simple.
Why do you think it seems so complicated? I mean, obviously you're an expert in this subject, so it seems pretty simple for you because you deal with this every day. What do you think the mystique is about why it feels like such a big, ominous thing that's hanging out there?
Small business owners have to wear a lot of hats. They wear one or two or three really well. Unfortunately, there's 15 or 20 they need to wear. And, finance is always one of the things that is kind of scary. And you walk into a banker's office and you want money and you look at them sitting behind the desk and they're this big ogre, and they're really not. Lenders want to give you money. That's how they get paid, is they don't get paid if they don't give you money. So, you have this automatic adversarial relationship when you walk into their office, and it shouldn't be like that. I think that's a big part of it.
Okay, so I've heard statistics that show a certain number of businesses fail in a certain amount of time, and most businesses don't survive past, let's say, 5 years. Do you think a lack of funding ranks toward the top of the reasons why that is the case?
It's either it fluctuates. It's one or two constantly, and I deal with that. I deal with it daily with people. I was on the phone 3 times today, and all was the same story. If I just had the money, I could get there. And these are all legitimate business owners, legitimate people that just for the sake of a variety of circumstances don't quite fit in the mold, and they're having a problem getting capital.
Okay. So on that note, what do you think the business lending climate is like today? Because it seems when the whole real estate market crashed, banks were tightening up their funding, perhaps not just for real estate, but probably for everything else. Has that changed?
From my own personal point of view, there is more money out there than has ever been in the history of this country. It's everywhere. We're setting every record, and we've had some good years back in the heyday in 05 through 08 before the crash. We had some multi-million-dollar years, and we're going to break those records this year. The money is there. Here's the difference. If you want to get a business loan in 2007 or earlier, if you had a 640 credit score and a pulse, I was handing you $500,000. And half of the people we handed that money to did not deserve the money, without any doubt in my mind. But that was the lending climate of the day. Today, things are obviously different. You have to be prepared, and you have to be qualified.
Okay. How do you think that's changed? I mean, obviously, a lot of loans have defaulted. So would you, obviously that has to be one of the reasons why the lending climate has changed. It wasn't that long ago, like you said, a bank would lend money to anyone. What do you think the main differences are now?
Accountability auditors, regulators on the bank side, they can't have those freewheeling wild, wild west days like they did just a few short years ago. I mean, they have to answer to the regulators, and if a file is not complete, if it looks a little bit shaky, they're going to get their hand slapped in too many hand slaps, and all of a sudden there's a padlock on the door. So they're very, very careful to make sure that a client is qualified. And let me just say one thing when we talk about that qualification. If you have a bad credit score, it does not necessarily preclude you from getting money. There are dozens and dozens of options for getting money out there. You just have to be able to find the one that you fit inside their box.
Okay, great. Well, we have less than 2 minutes of the first break, so let me just ask you this. I mean, you are a business loan broker, but you do spend lots of time on people's personal credit.
Yep.
Why is that?
I think it's criminal what's going on in this country. You can literally commit a major felony and go into prison and come out of prison quicker than you can get out of credit prison through no fault of your own, i.e. some personal catastrophe, a divorce, a loss of a job, a medical illness, what have you. Those things can devastate a family, can devastate a marriage, and you'll sit there for, I've seen people that have been in this problem for as much as 20 years. But on average, it's 7 to 10 years, and it's a system that was set up by the credit bureaus. They did it purposely to extract more dollars out of the American public, and it just kind of really makes me angry.
Yeah, and that is something we will definitely explore after the break, because I do want to talk about how the credit industry conspires to keep us in what you are calling credit prison, which is a very apt term. And I did read your book, Kitchen Table Credit, last week, and there were some things in there that I thought were absolutely fascinating. We will definitely spend time talking about Darrell's book, Kitchen Table Credit. We will discuss how the industry keeps us in credit prison. We'll talk about credit repair and how someone can start doing that. But we will do all of that right after the break on the other side. Stay with us. This is Success Profiles Radio.